Welcome back to In the Slant. How are we doing today, boys?
Good.
Pretty good.
I'm starting to think we're cursed, guys, because every time we record an episode, a trade happens literally the next day or two. That was the two biggest trades of the offseason happened right after we stopped recording. Devontae Adams to the Raiders,
Thursday,
and then Tyreek Hill to the freaking Dolphins.
on a Wednesday, a day
Yeah.
after.
It's crazy. So what do we think about Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins? They also signed Teron Armstead as well, which is somebody we mentioned last episode, and that happened. So Armstead, Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins are starting to look really good in the AFC.
I think this is time for Tua to prove that he's a quarterback now, I guess. I mean, his offensive line is definitely better than what it was, and he's got Tyreek Hill and Waddle out there. So, I mean, he has no excuses now. So, all the Tua doubters, this is time for him to prove if he's good or not. I think the trade was good. I'm surprised more teams besides just the Jets and Dolphins weren't interested. I mean, it just came out, and then it just said that it was just the Jets and Dolphins. So, I'm pretty sure there's a few other teams that don't have a receiver that would not have probably minded giving up some picks for Tyreek Hill.
It was kind of just what, how much he wanted and everything like that. But yeah, in terms of like whenever the deals came out and stuff like that, like we had no idea like that trade was going to happen at all. Like there was no talk throughout the offseason so far about Tyreek being dished out like that. But with, Tua being his quarterback now in Miami, I think it's going to be a good thing for Tua to be able to do that. And I did also see something today on Twitter regarding Tyreek's his role in the team, and he's going to be more of a Deebo Samuel type. So, he'll be getting some runs. He'll be in the slot. He'll be on the outside. So, it'll be kind of cool to see, what they can do in their division and see if they can pull it out maybe. So,
from my standpoint, when this whole trade went down, I was at work. So, I was getting notifications from my phone, and then I see Tyreek Hill pop up in the headline saying he potentially might get traded. I personally didn't think Tyreek Hill would leave Kansas City at all. I thought they would keep
never
him
in my mind did I think that would happen.
because he's such a big part of that offense. I didn't think he'd ever get traded or sign or go somewhere else, whatever. And he ended up going to Miami. I didn't think he was going to choose the Jets. I think I seen something about him saying it was Miami for sure.
Right.
Yeah, he's from
Jets.
Florida, I believe,
Yeah.
or from Miami or around that area or whatever. So.
Yeah, and then they obviously paid him $30 million, which is
it's really good for a wide receiver. That's a good number to get. So,
Yeah.
he got the bag.
I mean, it's
so.
just going to show you that if you have to choose between a $50 million quarterback and a $28 to $30 million wide receiver, you're probably going to pick the quarterback, obviously. So
Yeah,
Rodgers
franchise.
and Mahomes in the same offseason lose their best weapon, arguably. I mean, maybe you could throw Kelsey over Hill if you want to. But regardless, the Chiefs walked away with 5 picks, which I feel is pretty good. A first, second, fourth, a fourth, and a sixth, which is awesome. So the Chiefs get to refuel, maybe get a Tyreek Hill in the draft if they can find one, and see what happens from there. But the Miami Dolphins are going to be a good-looking team with Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and also Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds. So
Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
McDaniel coming over from San Francisco is apparently some kind of mastermind. So we'll see what he does over there in the AFC. Once again, the AFC just got more stacked with the Dolphins being as good as they are. So then we got to talk about the Chiefs, though. They, traded Tyreek Hill, immediately sign MVS.
Yep. Yeah, they went out and grabbed him. He's always been a real threat because of his speed. And so, in terms of being a deep threat, I mean, they went out and grabbed him. So that was a big pickup there. I've always kind of been a iffy on MVS. He's kind of been reliable sometimes, but there's sometimes where, he drops. But of course, a lot of wide receivers have that issue. And over this last season, when he was healthy, I mean, he was doing pretty phenomenal. So I think it was a really good pickup for them to go out and grab MVS. And on top of that, they added Juju. So them getting both of those 2 wide receivers.
Juju and Jackson Mahomes, we're still excited about that.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be so fun.
So with the Chiefs, real quick, obviously losing Tyreek Hill, I think that's going to be a hard player to replace. Getting MVS for $10 million, 30,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 10 mil.
Right, that's not a bad sign in my opinion, considering where the wide receiver market has been going. We all seen Christian Kirk's contract and Mike Williams and stuff like that.
And
So,
Zay Jones.
Yeah.
Zay Jones got the same 10 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
but with those guys getting signed for that much, I mean, getting MVS for that price, I don't think is too bad. And I still hear they're still shopping for another wide receiver.
Yeah,
So-
I definitely saw that too. I saw that they actually reached out to Seattle over DK.
I know.
Today I've seen that.
Which,
So-
speaking of, obviously not to go away from the Chiefs, but all these other young wide receivers are coming up for extension. The Debo Samuels of the world, the DKs, the Terry McLaurin, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, to
Hollywood.
name 5, Hollywood Brown. I feel like maybe out of one of those, I think we named 6 or 5 off. I feel like out of one of those, we could see maybe getting someone traded. I don't know if it'd be this offseason, but someone could get traded.
Yeah.
Because teams are choosing not to pay these wide receivers this big of money. Now, I don't know if any of those 5 or 6 guys will get as much money as Tyreek and Devontae Adams did. But what do you think?
You just got to find. I think at this point, the teams are going to have to find those quarterbacks that are willing to maybe take a little bit of a pay cut. I mean, Derek Carr basically said, "Hey, I'll take a pay cut if you guys get Adams, and we brought Adams in, and I'm sure his extension is going to be hopefully a little bit more team friendly than what it would have been if we didn't get Devontae.
Yeah, like 20 to 30 million, 35 million would be the sweet spot for quarterbacks. But if you're getting paid over that, it's going to be hard to pay the rest of the team around you like big contracts. But
well, it's also the the cap issue too. So like as long as you can pay the quarterback the money he wants and give him the bag, but you also got to like restructure it to where his sign-on bonus is a lot more rather than his overall salary, so that it actually lowers the cap and gives them the opportunity to be able, like we saw that with Green Bay this year. They finally restructured Aaron Rodgers and cut him down about half of that $44 million cap space he had just for himself alone. So, we're going to see that over the this next couple years. We're going to see that a lot of quarterbacks taking a cut like that and then being able to figure out how to get under the cap and even get farther under to where you're able to go out and grab those free agents that are playmakers and game changers. So
exactly,
it's gonna be awesome.
But or no, go ahead.
Which is why it's smart for teams, right now for when they have rookie quarterbacks that are promising like Herbert and stuff to stack that team before them quarterbacks get paid.
Exactly,
Right.
I agree with that.
Taking up real
Rookie
quick.
contract, take advantage of that. When they're paid in like 18 million, whatever it is, and go out, sign those guys for that year, and then of course you're gonna have to make decisions after that when you pay the quarterback. But
And I feel like that's why a lot of teams are going to start going like. That's why the Colts, they're only paying Matt Ryan like $18 million this year. So like I feel like that's another option. You can either go for the young rookies that are on their rookie contract, or you go for like the older veterans that are like about ready to be out of the league and they are just playing their last few seasons.
It's kind of risky going for those veterans though, because like you could sign them to the 3-year deal for the veterans, but we don't know if they're gonna last those 3 years. They could play that first year and be like, I'm tired. I don't want to play no more.
quarterbacks aged very well, though. I will say
it is, especially with Tom Brady coming back for this
Proven
extra
fact
year.
right there.
It's showing that these quarterbacks can play up until they're 45. Up in their late 40s, I will laugh
That
so
might be
hard if
just
somebody
a
hits
Tom
50.
Brady thing, though, I feel
Yeah,
like.
probably. Well, because he's a pocket quarterback, so he doesn't do a lot of mobility like Seattle or with Russell Wilson and everything like that. So you sit in the pocket and you're clean majority of the season, and that back-to-back seasons, you're gonna be able to play longer instead of taking those bad hits like Andrew Luck took. Like Andrew Luck was getting body slammed. Like he had no line, and that was I think that was probably one of the first quarterbacks we saw that was a franchise quarterback that retired early because he didn't really get the help that he had or
and
that
the
he
timing of
needed.
his retirement was horrible.
It was
too.
really bad. And
Put the
way,
Colts in such a terrible situation.
But the way that they treated him was even worse.
Yeah.
Like him getting booed and everything like that when it wasn't even supposed to be leaked till after that game. Like it was just terrible.
It was a
But
bad situation.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing with Russell Wilson too. Russell Wilson was literally wanting to request a trade out of Seattle at one point. Like he
Because
wanted
of
out of there
offensive line.
because of offensive line. Because he's like, I'm just getting beat up
he's
out there.
mobile. He had to move, and not a lot of quarterbacks like doing that. Like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, like they can work that scenario for the benefit of their team. But with pocket quarterbacks, you can't really get that much out of them. Like their throw on the runs aren't as reliable as those mobile quarterbacks.
The NFL did decide to change the overtime rules today, which is awesome. We obviously don't know what exactly it looks like, but apparently it didn't change in the regular season, but in the postseason, both teams are guaranteed a possession. What do we think that'll look like for that? Because they haven't really released what the actual rules are, but in my opinion, I can see some like superstar KO type stuff. Not to bring up Madden, but like maybe you have to like score the most. Like maybe you have to go for 2.
Like college.
Yeah, get
like
8.
back to back. Like you can go into 4 overtimes.
Yeah, like you just have to keep scoring. Go for 2, or maybe teams will be scared to go for. I don't know. It'll be interesting. What do you guys think this overtime will look like?
I think that's what it has to be. Is that if the team scores a touchdown and a field goal, then the other team can score a touchdown and a field goal to tie it, or score the touchdown and 2 points to win it. So
yeah, it's not a regular season game, so it's not like they can just end on a tie.
Yeah,
So and
exactly.
I haven't seen anything as far as that as to where what's gonna happen if the teams score the same amount of points
I
on
think it
both
should
drives.
keep on going because it
I-
has to be.
I can
'cause-
see that. There's no other way they'd go around it, honestly. Like, so that kind of puzzles me. So, we'll have to see when the season starts or when this new rule comes out more to be able to actually see exactly in those situations what's going to happen.
The rules will probably come out tomorrow too.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Before we even know.
Yeah.
I can agree with you guys though. I think it's gonna just be a back and forth thing, but I kind of like the rule just so because it's postseason. We like to see our games last a little bit longer. You know what I mean?
Especially
So,
Exactly.
those really clutch games
like
that
the Chiefs and Bills game. Like I would love to see that go back.
I would have
and forth,
loved,
you know what I
I
mean?
think that would be perfect entertainment right there.
Yeah,
Just
for
watching
real.
those two teams go back and forth. I know some people are traditional and say the defense should have got the stop with 13 seconds left, which I I can agree with.
I
but,
agree. 100% I agree with
But
that.
Kelsey and Tyreek Hill are really elite. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be too surprised. Plus, Mahomes is crazy. I
Yeah,
mean, the
for
man
real.
is magical. But
I mean, if there's receivers and,
it'll be fun to
options
see what
catch.
that looks like. But
Yeah.
guys, today we asked everyone here to do a way too early AFC ranking. So obviously this is before the draft. This is before we even know where Tyrann Mathieu, Bobby Wagner, or Stephon Gilmore are even signed. As of recording this, we are not aware of where those guys are at. So we're going to go from 16-1 today, and we're just going to kind of see where everyone has every team listed. Because in my opinion, you could make an argument for 15 out of these 16 teams to potentially make the playoffs. Not win a championship or anything, but potentially make the playoffs, depending on, a couple quarterbacks developing or whatever. But let's just go ahead and get started. I hope our number 16 is all the same, because I feel like
think
it
it
should
is.
be pretty similar.
We'll find out.
Number 16 for me. I'll let you guys go ahead. What do you got for number 16?
Number 16 is the Texans.
I have the Texans as well.
Texans?
Yeah, I got
okay, so we all had
Texans,
Texans. Not to, knock against Texans, but they're just rebuilding, and then we'll see what Davis Mills does.
Yeah,
in
the
his
quarterback
sophomore year.
situation was probably why we all put him down there, just because we've seen Mills ball, but at the same time, we don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be, and that's one of the biggest part of
It'll
the
be Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
Davis
but listen,
Mills.
Davis Mills is-
if he
Davis
starts
Mills-
to struggle,
Davis Mills proves more than Jack
All right,
Wilson
all right.
is.
Number 15. I don't want to spend too much
all right,
time.
Fine.
Number 15, I have the Jets.
I also have the Jets.
Me as well.
I have the Jags.
Jags? Okay,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
think
feel like those
Jags.
two are a little interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Jets or Jags could be one of those surprise teams, though. But depending on Lawrence and Zach Wilson, if they're good their sophomore year, which could be a thing. So, all right, you're a little different.
Well, I always feel like the Jets have a good offseason.
Yeah, I mean,
they never play up to par sometimes.
it never works out for them.
Yeah, I
We'll
just
see.
worry when I picked the Jags was just because I was kind of worried about Trevor, just Lawrence. He's got the weapons around him, but at the same time, we saw how he did last year. He had a lot of interceptions compared to his touchdown rate. But I mean, we could see him kind of flip flop, and maybe he could make a push and show his development has been increasing. But at the same time, we got to wait for the draft and everything to hit. So I put them.
I
down
mean, I
there
feel like that's
low.
with both those teams.
Yeah,
The quarterback has
oh,
improvement.
I give them time. They just
So that's
got into
why I had to put the Jags. In my opinion, the Jags are above the Jets just because they've made more offseason moves to help Trevor. When the Jets have made moves, but not as many moves. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
So-
both their
for sure.
quarterbacks are new to the NFL, so you definitely
Yeah.
got to give them both
So
time.
14 Jaguars for
Yeah.
you two, and then
Yeah.
yours is Jets then, right?
I actually have Dolphins right there.
You have Dolphins
Yeah, that
under
was-
the Jets?
Yeah, I was okay. I was totally gonna switch it because I low key was thinking about the Dolphins and how many pieces that they went out and grabbed and Tyreek and everybody like that.
You have
But you
Dolphins
know
under
what?
the Jets.
Yeah.
You can't change it now.
It's literally one under. I literally have the Jets at 13. But I mean, we got to see with these teams, man. We don't know. They play ball every week, and every week a new team can come out. So I mean,
this is why this is fun. What do you guys think about Dolphins under the
Well,
Jets?
I don't have them too much higher than that, but I mean, I feel
I
like they
had them
could be a little.
higher.
I have them a little bit higher too.
I'm a risk taker, so I don't expect too much out.
All right,
of them.
I'll start at number 13
All
now.
right,
So
go ahead,
number
go ahead.
13, I honestly have the Steelers just because I don't trust their quarterback
Mitchell
situation.
Trubisky?
I
Yeah.
have the Steelers as well.
I have Steelers too.
For 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already said I have the Jets for that. That's,
Oh,
that's
okay.
where my
but
Jets are
for the
at.
same reason is with Dustin.
Mitchell Trubisky is a
Yeah.
question mark.
I feel like with the Jags, Jets, and or Steelers, it's just all a question of quarterback.
Oh,
but I
okay.
feel like you have to
Question.
put the Steelers higher just based off their defense alone. That's why
Yeah.
I put them above both.
and
the
Mike
Jets.
Tomlin too.
Yeah.
I don't really have the Steelers very low. I mean, they're not super high, but they're not at my bottom because I don't think they're gonna stick with Trubisky. I don't see it happening.
You don't think they're what?
I don't think they're gonna stick with Trubisky.
Oh, I thought you said sleep with Trubisky.
No.
Stick with Trubisky.
No, I don't think they're gonna stick with him. I think that
Okay.
he could definitely play within half of the season, and an injury could come up, or he could just get his spot taken. I mean,
Because he sucks or
He's
something.
went to 3 different teams and he hasn't been able to stay. And I mean, I don't blame him for the Bears because of Nagy, but at the same time, you got to be able to produce. And he didn't do that.
Well, this will be a second opportunity because Buffalo, he never got a
Buffalo,
chance.
Yeah, he literally went there as a
Josh
second
Allen
string.
obviously had that job
But
locked
whenever
up.
we were talking about where we thought these quarterbacks were going to go, I saw Trubisky going somewhere. I didn't see him going to the Steelers, but I did see him going somewhere as a second string. So I don't think they're going to be a reliant on him for that position.
I still have him as a backup as well. Who knows? if he
Well,
gets
yeah,
started.
we'll see what happens there. I mean, Mason Rudolph could beat him out for it, I guess.
And they don't.
And
They have who else?
Dwayne Haskins, I think, still as
Them
well.
three, like I said, they're gonna be battling out. I think for that.
So
position.
12 is next, right?
Mhm.
I had the Indianapolis Colts.
At the Patriots.
You had the Patriots?
I
Okay.
also had the Patriots.
Okay.
I had the Dolphins.
You had the Dolphins? Okay.
For the same reason as Skyler, though. You know what I mean? You can put all these people on a team, and they can look good on paper, but who knows how they're going to perform.
It's like the Browns that one year.
Listen,
when they had that stacked roster, and then they played, and Baker just
See,
wasn't
and
up to
that
it.
was my biggest debate was the Dolphins and Patriots there. But I mean, out of all the quarterbacks that I have questions about, he was the one that I'm like, bro, there's no way you're not performing with these. Like, there's just no way.
I saw a stat about Tua, and he was actually in terms of like in terms of throws and his accuracy. When Tyreek joined, he said something about how he can bowl. And there's one stat I cannot remember it,
It's
but
all right.
he was in top 10 of the stat, and honestly, he could potentially ball. And with these weapons being added, I mean, he's being given the opportunity on a silver platter. So I mean,
And let me talk about the Patriots real quick. The reason I had them at number 12 as well is like, yes, the draft hasn't gone by, and there's still some free agents that they could get. They've made like basically zero moves. So like, I mean,
Because they spent all their money last offseason.
yeah, overpaying everybody.
Janu, Nelson
that's-
Aguilar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Hunter
so that's why I
Henry,
can't put them any
Matthew
higher.
Judon.
And especially after them getting
Which
blown
that
out.
was a good signing.
he's worth
Matthew Judon was good, yeah.
Judon was a good
Baller.
signing.
But like
Come
they
back to
literally
Baltimore.
spent so much money and they got blown out in playoffs. Like I mean, they look good and then they go into playoffs. I'm not saying like obviously they played a good team, but to get blown out that bad when their defense has been killing it all season, that was just an embarrassment. And the fact that their defense has not really gotten any better. If anything, I think it's gotten a little bit worse. So there's no way I can put them higher than
I mean,
them.
regardless, this is
Pretty high.
tough because the AFC is stacked. Like once we get to the top 10, it's gonna get really tough for
yeah,
sure.
for
And I mean, even top 12 is pretty tough because
Yeah.
I mean, you could realistically see any of these teams making the playoffs. Like I said,
I mean, I feel like this whole list was honestly hard.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
really-
even with the weaker teams. I mean, they're going out and grabbing really good players in FA. So I mean, those good players add to the roster. So I mean, it's all about just coming in every Sunday and playing ball.
Maybe
Who's gonna
Kirk-
play the best?
maybe Christian Kirk is 2,000 yards this season. Who knows?
Maybe.
Imagine.
That'd be
All right,
wild.
let's see,
Stop.
let's see what Skylar's got for number 11. I'm intrigued.
Number
11?
11?
Yeah,
No, I
what-
have Steelers for number 11.
Okay, so I had Dolphins.
I had the Browns.
Oh wow.
I also had the Dolphins.
Okay, so you had Browns pretty low. Wow, that's crazy. So, for me, like we've already kind of talked about the Dolphins enough. We just got to see what Tua does. So we just want to go to number 10 then. So this is where
Yeah.
our top 10 is at.
Top 10.
Unless you no, tell me why you would think Cleveland's so low. Actually,
I don't know. It's just the same situation with the Dolphins. Like, how is Watson going to perform with the team?
yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, he's a hell of a
With his
quarterback.
wide
receivers.
I'm not knocking him at all, but I'm just saying with the team in general.
we still don't know if Landry or Odell's going to go back there either.
Exactly.
And to
that
be
too.
fair, another thing that we didn't think about too, because I mean, I'm assuming these predictions are what team you think is going to make it. And if Deshaun Watson does randomly get a suspension, that does drag the Browns
it
down
does.
a little bit. So
It just
Another
puts
reason
Baker
as
back
well.
there.
yeah, that is another good reason. So I
If
have
Baker
them
will even start while Watson's suspended, he might tell them to go kick rocks. You know?
I would.
Yeah, for real. They
But-
literally said that he was going to be the starter too, and then to go around and then draft Watson or to trade for Watson for all those picks, and then pay him that fat deal after all these allegations. I mean, I feel like it's just kind of spitting in Baker's face at this point because they're like, "We want you to start." Never mind. Like we want Watson, even though there's other teams out there that would use Watson to a certain advantage because they're in quarterback help. They still
just
went
goes to
around
show,
and
man.
were like, "Nah, Baker, we don't want you."
The NFL is a business, but
It is. It really is.
who start the top 10? What do you got 10?
I got the Broncos.
I have the New England Patriots.
I have the Colts.
I have the Browns, and just not because I don't think they're better than a couple of teams in the top 10, just because of the suspension thing. I don't think they're going to be as good as some of them.
I definitely got Colts fitted in my top 10 just because of Jonathan Taylor alone.
My next one was pretty interchangeable as well.
Who'd you got?
Number 9, I had Tennessee Titans.
Mm.
I had
And
the
they cut
Colts.
I had the
Julio,
Colts,
got
too.
Robert Woods.
I had Browns at number 9.
Number 9,
Mhm.
okay. I had Browns a lot higher than all you guys, I guess.
for
I was
real.
high on them. I don't know. I
I'm
love
just, I'm just
Watson
worried
there.
about the situation.
Okay, like there's a part of me that because, like I said, I just had the Browns and the Colts, and then I literally my next pick's the Titans for 8. I literally have those three teams there, and I literally think the Browns are the better team on paper over both those teams. It's just a suspension thing that's making me push it back. And so, honestly, it's hard for me to choose between the Colts and Titans. Like I definitely interchange. Like those two teams could literally just go back. Like no matter on my list, they were gonna be right next to each other.
Yeah,
because I
that's
think
true.
they are literally the same team.
With my Broncos at the 10, though, just considering they're in the AFC West, that's just going to be hard, for them anyway.
I know. For me, I wasn't even
So-
thinking about divisions. I was just like,
Well, I mean, yeah, overall, too, but just them even trying to make it out the division is going to be hard.
yeah, any of those
Yeah,
teams
for real.
are just gonna be crazy. That's why we're even doing this in the first place. The AFC is just insane.
Crazy.
It's
And mind you guys, this is early.
This is way too. Like I said, it's way too early rankings because we don't have the draft.
I just think it's funny that NFC is not even a topic of discussion.
I mean, yeah,
I totally get it though, because like compared to all the moves AFC is making compared to NFC, oh my gosh, like how many moves the AFC has went out and grabbed NFC players is insane.
Dustin told me he wasn't even watching a single NFC game this year. I'm like, dude, come on.
Hey,
now.
I'll watch if it's NFC versus AFC.
No, we can definitely do this again after the draft too.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
We could definitely do some stuff like this. But number 8 is where I actually had the Denver Broncos.
That's where I had the Broncos. I
What's
had
your
Broncos
number
8
I
also.
bet the Titans already
I had
said
the
it.
Titans too.
Okay, so you guys said Broncos lower than the Titans. I don't know. I think the Broncos with Russell Wilson are going to be better than the Titans, in my opinion. I don't know. I love Russell Wilson.
They still got that man. Yeah, they still got him
Wait, what do you
king.
mean? I choose the Titans today, so I still have faith in.
Oh, you still are? No.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
I
guys.
still have them on my list.
Okay, my bad. All right. So number 7.
Titans. I have Titans there at 7.
Okay, what about you guys?
I got the
Flip-flop.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Wow, what?
Chiefs number 7.
I don't like that one.
I don't like that.
I don't like that one
at all.
either.
Okay, Dustin.
Why? Why?
Wait,
Because-
let him name his number
Dustin's
7.
not gonna like this one. I have the Raiders.
Okay, I want to hear yours.
Yeah.
I want to hear yours. For
All right, let's
sure.
have you
Why?
guys debate.
Okay, because these are the way too early predictions. I'm not. This
Right.
ain't the predictions after the draft because we don't know what they've done yet. So
yeah, but I mean, not in top 5 though.
No,
Chiefs.
not right now.
That's crazy.
Because
He's just hating.
listen, no, because in my opinion, the only thing they've really gone out and done is sign Juju, lost Tyreek Hill, and then you got Justin Reed and lost Tyron, which I think Tyron's still better at this current moment. So, in my opinion, you haven't done anything to get better yet. You have draft picks, but this is the way too early predictions, baby. This ain't after draft.
Dude, as long as Pat Mahomes is starting quarterback for the Chiefs, they will always be in my top 5.
That's how
always be in
I
my
am
top
too.
5.
That's how I kind of
Andy
feel.
Reid's offense, man, with Kelsey still, I mean, they ain't leaving my top 5.
Yeah. I
There's
couldn't.
no
All
way.
right, now let's hear Jared's explanation
yeah.
of the Raiders.
Listen, I want to put the Raiders so much higher. After the draft, I guarantee I'm going to have them so much higher just because their offseason, I think, has been one of the best.
I don't know if
They're
you
really
will be
good.
after the draft because they don't have their first 2 round
They
picks.
still got some signings. You still see who they're in talks for.
Well, I mean, yeah, they still
Yeah,
have,
that's true.
they're in talks for Gilmore. Like I said, we don't know if Gilmore and Matthew are going to go to the Raiders. That could still happen, so that might change some things.
But like you said, this is early, so I still have you guys ranked higher later, though.
Man, I was not expecting Chiefs to go that.
Yeah, that one was crazy, though.
That is wild.
That was
Last
crazy.
one before the top 5. I had a feeling Dustin was going to have them low for some reason.
I literally,
Ravens.
in my AFC West predictions, I put them at number 3, and that was when they had Tyreek Hill. When they lost Tyreek Hill, I'm sorry, I'm instantly throwing them to the bottom of the division. So all 3 of the AFC West teams are higher than the Chiefs.
My
in
team
opinion.
right outside the top 5 is Las Vegas Raiders.
Damn.
I have the Patriots.
You have the you have
yeah.
Patriots that high.
Wow.
Well, because they went to
mean,
the playoffs last year.
It is Bill Belichick. Yeah, so
Didn't
he
they
can-
get crapped on?
They did.
I mean, yeah, in the
they
playoff
played-
game, but I mean,
Yeah,
the fact
They
they even
played the
got
best
there is
Bills,
pretty
you know
nice.
what I mean?
Hey, that's important.
That's a hard team to beat, first of all.
I had
Who'd they play
the
after?
Broncos.
Bills?
Oh, yeah.
Broncos out of top
that
5.
Was, that
That's
was
a
not
tough team
surprising.
to beat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No,
Definitely.
this is 6, right?
Yeah,
it's
we're
a
6.
6.
You said top. Yeah, no, yeah.
I said
had the
outside of your top 5.
Yeah, Broncos at 6. Yeah.
Outside your top 5. So when we get to these top 5 teams, I think there's some teams you could have put obviously in the top 5, but
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off there.
You want to know Ravens?
Yeah, I want to know his. He said the Ravens at 6.
Okay, I had to think about this one.
oh, you said Ravens. I didn't hear him say
I
that.
said Ravens at 6.
Okay.
So I had to think about this, and I put them in comparison with the other teams that I have in my top 5. I listen to what you say. Every time you say it, you say, if we're injured, it's a different story.
Yes.
I need to see the team healthy. If
You
your
seen
team,
us in 2019 healthy, 14-2.
Okay.
Trying to make
New
the Super
season.
Bowl, so I
New
mean,
We was off a week. I have so many reasons why we lost that game. So many reasons.
Wait. New season. So anything can happen. The AFC is open. Like, there is anybody that could take this home. I could definitely see you guys winning your division. I can see that. But in terms of like what happened after in playoffs, I know we shouldn't really think about playoffs and after, but if your team stays healthy, you're making playoffs, hands down. And you'll definitely be within top 5 if you stay healthy. But it's if you're healthy, and that's an if. So I mean, we just have to wait and see.
Let's pray.
Hey, we could definitely finish the season be top 3. So I mean, we just got to see what happens.
Let's
All
just
right.
pray we stay healthy.
Top
man.
5.
for real.
Let's get to
For
the
real.
top 5. What's everyone's number 5?
Listen. I'm not gonna be biased at all. I have my team at 5.
Okay, I mean,
Nice.
that's fair.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
fair.
have, Dustin?
I also have the Ravens at 5.
What do you have?
Raiders.
You have Raiders in the top
Hey.
5.
Yeah, Raiders
so
top
Ravens
5.
miss your top 5. I don't know if this will surprise you guys or not, but I have the Chargers at 5.
Whoa, that's
that
surprising.
is surprising. That is
Yes.
surprising.
Okay, for me, I love what the Chargers did this offseason, but I think these teams have proven, these teams above them have proven a lot more than the Chargers have the last few seasons. So
That is fair.
I feel like the Chargers need to come out and prove it, and then obviously I can change my mind
They
after
went
that.
out and got a lot of people.
I mean, yes, like I said, their team looks awesome, and I think they could go all the way for sure with Herbert back there. But it's just for me, these 4 teams I have above them, I think just for me, like I said, they've proven a lot more the last few years. So
That's
I have
fair.
Chargers number 5.
That's fair.
I got the Ravens. I mean, I think if healthy, they could prove more, but they're still playing in that tough division. So, I mean, they could still pick up some L's just playing their 2 games against each team a year. So. I mean, that's what like the AFC West here. Each of those teams can just pick up multiple L's. But
yeah.
I have us at 5, obviously, because our injuries. You know, I'm hoping Gus, JK, all these guys that we had on this injury list can come back healthy. You know, I'm obviously not going to put us higher because, like I just said, we got to see how we can play and if we can stay healthy, which I hope we do. And we do got a couple spots on the roster that we do need to fill, which I think we will in the draft, which is O-line.
Which I
think.
hope every AFC team is healthy, man. We need to see a
Yeah.
dogfight, bro.
Yes.
We want to see a dogfight. We don't want to see teams get knocked out because of injury. We don't want to see guys like quarterbacks getting injured and stuff like that.
It's super unfortunate that it
It's
happens. And
unfortunate.
It's really it's kind of sad too because like you know these guys, this is their job. This is
Mhm.
what they go to work for every day. They go to work to ball. And whenever you get in a situation where you're out for the year, you're out for a couple months, that still hurts your team. Especially no matter what position you play. If you're a first string or a second string, that can have a third string.
And when they
you're
work
a third string. So, but at the same time, you're still better than me. So
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, it's injuries, man. We just gotta be careful.
also with that thing, like you know, they work their ass off in the off season.
They really do.
And when it comes to like an injury like J.K. Dobbins, he got hurt in preseason. against
yeah,
the
in
Redskins.
preseason.
That's
Was
the
he out for the
worst.
year too?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
worst.
that's-
Preseason, which sucked. I
Preseason
don't even know
injuries
why
are the
we had him
worst.
out there. In my opinion, I think that was dumb. But
I remember Jordy Nelson getting injured in preseason.
My dad took Jordy Nelson that year in the second round, and
In
then
the
he tore,
draft.
and then he tore his ACL.
But number
That-
4, boys.
I guess I'll start it off. Might be everyone might say it's a little biased, but obviously I got the Raiders there.
Number 4.
That's fine.
Just in my opinion, the moves we made have just gotten. I think we just gotten way better. I mean, and bringing in Patrick Graham, I think is underrated. It's a dude that doesn't just have one scheme that he plays all year against every team. Like he will switch it up for based off the team. So I think you're going to see a bunch of different schemes that this Raiders defense is going to play. I think you're just going to see it be a whole lot better.
being able to have weapons too.
Who's your
Good
number
take,
4?
man. My number 4, I had the Bills at number 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Jerry?
I have the Chiefs.
I had the Baltimore Ravens at number 4.
I like that.
So I have when the Ravens are healthy, they're gonna be good. That's just I mean,
Bro,
not to
I
hype
agree.
you up, but I mean I gotta
hey,
give
man.
credit where it's due. The Ravens are good when they're healthy. So I had them number 4. So I mean, obviously these are all good teams, so it's gonna be hard to interchange them. So you had Buffalo really low.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so that means Brady has the Chiefs in his top 3.
I do, yes.
I do.
I'm still very high on the
What
Chiefs.
though?
I got.
I'm still high on
I'm-
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm skeptical on the defense. You know, obviously with Mahomes at a quarterback, anything can
I
happen.
mean, as
Yeah,
long as
but-
what doesn't happen is what happened in the Super Bowl against the Bucks.
But losing
I mean,
Hill-
their team was not catching.
But
up.
can I just
So,
just say something as an AFC West fan? I've just seen it every year. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback, but their defense is so bad every year that any AFC West team can just keep up with them in
But
points no matter what.
They tend to get better as the season goes along, though. I've noticed.
Yeah, but you take
I
a
mean,
bunch
the
of
Super
early
Bowl-
L's.
They do.
The Super Bowl.
I mean, not the Super Bowl.
that game was nuts. But if the receivers are catching, the offense is dynamite, man. I mean, when
Tyreek Hill won them so many games this
They've
year.
also lost a lot
Okay,
of
but
weapons.
TB, I don't have the Chiefs in the top 2. I have them number 3. All right. What do you have the Chiefs?
I have Chiefs 2.
You have 2. Okay.
Yeah, I have them 2.
I'll go ahead and I have the Chargers at 3.
Wait, didn't we skip 3?
No, we just said
Oh,
3.
My bad.
Wait, that was
Did
3.
it?
We just skipped.
I
no.
think we did skip
No,
3.
Yeah, we're on
No.
3 right now.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
3 right now. Well, I said Chiefs at 3.
Oh, well, you said where you got the Chiefs at, so I was confused. Okay,
Oh,
at
sorry.
At 3, I have the Chargers.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
I got
messed it-
Chargers 3.
I have Chargers 3 as well.
This might be a little hypocrite pick because I know they've gotten better, but I honestly have the Bengals at number 3. Even though I can still understand how people would.
Wait, so who's Dustin's top 2? The Bills and who else?
Let's let him get to it.
wait,
Let him get to it.
I'm missing. Okay. So number 2, I have the Bengals.
I have the Bills.
I have the Bills.
I have the Chiefs at 2.
Oh, so it's Bengals, duh. Right?
No,
Bengals is
at
three.
Bengals
3.
are number 1
No,
for you.
3.
Oh, you said 3?
Yes, Colts at 1.
No, just wait. We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about our
okay.
twos.
Okay.
Okay, so 2. So who'd you guys go with at 2?
Bills.
Bills. Why? Why Bills top 2? Because they smacked the Patriots.
Dude, hell of a team, man. Like that game was just
13 seconds left, bro.
Can I just say something?
Hold on. That game against the Chiefs was unfortunate. If the Bills, had that overtime rule as they do now, they would have won.
That's why they
Their
got
team
the
was
rule.
on fire. I know.
That is hands down. Why
Gabriel
that rule
Davis
came out.
was a savage. That
Dude,
game.
what was it? 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, something like that.
Fantasy was crazy.
I have Bills at number 2 just because I think they have the best quarterback in the AFC in my opinion. And so I got to rock with it. And I mean, they've only gotten a little bit better. I mean, they added Von Miller. So, I mean, they've had to gone better than what they were last year.
Bengals are my number 2. Obviously, they just made it to the Super Bowl. And the Bengals are number 2 respectfully because the team I have above them is my favorite. It's just what it is. So, number 1, I have the Buffalo Bills.
No.
The Buffalo Bills, bruh.
I'm going last. I want to do their number 1.
Dude, I got Bengals 1. They needed an offensive line, and that was one of the biggest things they slacked on with those 7 sacks in the Super Bowl. They went out and they've already made adjustments.
That's why they're my number 2, though.
I think they're on the road to go again, man. I mean, I could definitely see them fighting for that Super Bowl spot.
Being in the AFC North, this does hurt to say. I do have the Bengals at 1. But like Skylar just said, they did their thing in the offseason. They went and got all the people
and
for
it's
that
early,
line.
too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of time to continuously add weapons and add players to certain positions.
They still
All right,
have
let's
their
hear
receiver-
Dustin's number 1. Come on.
You guys-
I think it's the Chargers I'm missing out.
Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Chargers,
Okay,
baby.
Chargers number
And
1.
this is just, it's an early AFC prediction. So all these draft teams have not happened, and the Chargers have just made the biggest impact moves. Their O-line was already solid. Their weapons, you already know, are pretty solid. And their defense has just got better. So there's literally no way at this early prediction that I just cannot put them at number 1. They've ever since they got J.C. Jackson, Sebastian, and Khalil Mack, I literally had there's no way I'm in the AFC West. You think I want to put the Chargers at number 1? But I look at this every time. I'm like J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, Sebastian. I'm like
Joey Bosa over there,
Joey
too.
Bosa. Like, how can I not put them number 1 with that defense?
But
Like Brady said, I'm with them on that. I'm just waiting for them to prove it.
But-
They got
Right.
the team now. It's time
Well,
for them to
wasn't
do
there
their
a
thing.
couple games last season where they struggled?
Yeah,
Like
against us.
they were
Oh, yeah.
expected
Struggled
to
against us
destroy,
terribly.
and then they came out and they played average ball. There's a lot of teams that are really good. I see this a lot in the NFL, where if the team's really good and they're really hyped, and they go up against a team that's mid during the season, they can either destroy the team, or majority of the time I've been seeing where they kind of just go back and forth. They play at the same team's level they're facing.
The Raiders have a
that's
big
crazy
issue
to
with
me.
that. We'll go beat all the big name teams, then we go play the Giants and
then you go play a
Washington and
weak
lose.
team,
Yeah.
and then it's like you're playing the same
Play
game
down your
as them.
competition.
Yeah, it's
But Buffalo, I
crazy.
have to explain why I have Buffalo number 1. I mean, they're a good team, obviously, but one thing I have to mention, something that I find there's a very underrated signing that's going under the radar. Jameson Crowder to Buffalo for another weapon with Josh Allen. I love that
They
signing.
let go of Cole Beasley, so it's
I
basically
know,
like they
but
replaced
Jameson
Cole,
Crowder
yeah.
is a younger Cole Beasley, and I love Jameson Crowder came over from Washington a long time ago, then went to the Jets, and now he's in Buffalo for
Yeah, I
a
don't-
really.
You know how old he is?
He's like 29, I think. Which Beasley was like 33, 34. But that's not the only reason. I'm not saying
Didn't-
just-
okay,
I do love
okay.
that replacement. Though.
On
That's-
love it.
Beasley's case, wasn't one of the reasons he was cut? I don't know if this is true. I'm just throwing it out there.
Uh-oh.
His vaccination status.
Dude,
No.
Was that even an issue?
Let's not.
Like,
I don't know. Let's not talk about that. Who
Come
cares?
on.
But all right, and then Von Miller also, although he did get a fat contract, I love that pass rush signing for them with opposite of Greg Rosso or however you say his name. So I mean, the Bills were literally, like I said, it would have been a fun AFC championship to see Buffalo versus Cincinnati. It could have happened, but unfortunately, as we know, the Buffalo Bills defense sold. They lost in 13
Chiefs
seconds.
pulled it off
And
on
then
offense.
Chiefs got the possession and they went down and scored. And I love Josh Allen, so I'm going Buffalo number 1. I love Buffalo.
So basically, from our little standings, we're gonna have to put the Bengals as overall. If we had to put it together, Bengals are the number 1 team because we have 2 people that choose the Bengals. Then we're gonna have Bills as the number 2 because I mean you chose Bills at 2.
I did not.
Yeah.
I chose Bills.
Yeah,
like,
but 3 of us chose Bills at number 2.
4. I
so,
chose about 4.
yeah.
So I mean,
For
that's
me,
not bad.
Bengals was the obvious choice, so I wanted to get different here.
Well, I think
all
it's
right?
obvious they're number 1. You know,
I mean, they just made a Super Bowl, so yeah,
yeah,
they
and-
they knocked out the
Well,
Chiefs.
yeah, one of the biggest things that they needed was an offensive
One
line.
thing I
and
wanted,
they
one
did
thing,
it.
yeah, they did do that.
They
One
did.
thing I wanted to make sure is I didn't put the Chiefs over the Bengals because the Bengals beat them twice last
Yeah.
season. So, but I mean, that's it, boys. Not much else to talk about. We're still waiting on a few signings. There might be another. Watch tomorrow. There'll be some stupid trade that goes down. And
Let's
Tyrone
go Bobby
Matthew
Wagner.
to the Raiders.
Hold on,
Put in
Bobby
the universe.
Wagner to the Ravens, please.
DK, the Green Bay Packers.
That's not happening.
Dude.
It's not too
500
late,
betting.
Washington, to go get Russell Wilson. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Lord.
That'd be crazy.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. This is In the Slant, and we're saying
Peace.